So I've spent the last day and a half at the Health Emotions annual meeting that Richie Davidson and Ned Kalin put together at the UW, and I was sitting amongst the top neuroscientists and neurobiologists and psychopharmacologists in the world. And it was clear and evident to me, as someone who's not in any of those fields, how lucky I was to be taking in some information from some of the world's experts. And my filter is how to bring some of these ideas into practice, in supporting people in managing their stress as caregivers, in understanding the impacts of stress on parents as we support and serve them as first-year specialists, when I am creating programs that support family caregivers, and am implementing the kinds of practices in even a 28-day program that are most solidly based in evidence that could support them and get them relief from the stress that they're experiencing. That's my goal, right? So at the same time that I've been spending my week, I've been thinking about polyvagal theory. I revisited a conference session that I got online, describing trauma response in polyvagal theory. The Alyssa Eppel gave a wonderful presentation on her telomere effect, and the ways that stress can be buffered through everyday practices. I also sat and absorbed Huda Akil's session on genes and neural circuitry, and how those can be manipulated, and the impacts of our genetic predisposition versus interventions that can change the course of our genetic predispositions towards things like anxiety or low confidence. So a lot of this is not relevant directly to the things that we do. I'm thinking about what to include and not to include in some of our programs as well. And for a first-year specialist, we have made a decision to put a lot of information into our program. Our program has more content than most programs do. Some programs have as little as 20 hours of content, and a good portion of that might be how to sell yourself rather than how to actually do the work. When I created this program, I knew that I wanted to create something that had a lot of integrity and that would lay the groundwork for us to be skillful. We don't have to know it all. In fact, the scope of our practice is very clearly defined, and that's what we spend a lot of time doing in this program, is refining what our scope of practice is so that we understand how best to collaborate with pediatricians and lactation consultants and mental health practitioners. We want to be a family support role that bridges the gaps in the healthcare system. So our role as first-year specialists and postpartum doulas is to be that knowledgeable ground to help families get the most out of these other healthcare providers that might be involved in their care. But I also feel that every day our parents are going to ask us for reassurance. They're going to be sorting through information that they read on the internet. They're going to be overwhelmed by things that come their way. And when we are there to provide reassurance and to provide guidance, I want us to be grounded in good science. I want us to not just be swayed by what we're reading on the internet and some of the trends around parenting, but what does the evidence actually say? So as I come off of a week where I've taken a deep dive in all of these fields that really I'm not an insider in, I want to think about how to take in the latest research and science and how to interpret it into a way that we can be caregivers, how that we can buffer our own stress, how we can help others navigate life events, mitigating some of the stressors that they're experiencing. But I'll distill it for you, and that's what our team does, is that we think about what is important to know, what's important to know now, what's important to know later down the road. We lay the path for you to be a really skillful expert who over time can have great confidence in working with families who might be experiencing quite severe mental health concerns in the postpartum time, or who might be navigating a NICU discharge and relying on you to be a source of encouragement and guidance and reassurance. So we're pulling together some really great information so that you can be skillful, you can knowledgeably talk to the referral partners and the people that you'll collaborate with in your community, and you'll give good care. So I hope that you are the kind of person who would pick a program that has more content rather than less. And we will, on our end, continue to sort through the things that are relevant and helpful, and of course, to keep the program accessible and fun to learn. So I hope you'll check it out, and look forward to having you join us as a Wisdom Way student.